Saturday showdown. DN Freaks versus BNK.
If they go in, you're probably dead.
Well, the thing is, BNK have the Varus, but otherwise they're kind of coming towards you in a lot of these fights with the Yone and the Rumble even. So I do like the Renata lock-in here for Kellen. It's obviously his most iconic pick across his career. Works well with the Varus, and into Alistar you will have lane kingdom here in the bottom lane. You are just going to be able to keep pushing and hard force the advantages down there in the bottom side. So Skarner going to have a lot of prio there. Top side, we'll see how Clear plays this one out into Kingan's Gwen. We have seen Kingan have some, I don't know, I feel like weird reads on Gwen, you know, with the Diana pick, for example, that we saw. Is a Nivea game that really didn't hit the mark.
And BNK Furex, they're going to have to dig deep and create some big leads in the early game and then get these wombo combos working. Hold the enemy team over the barbecue as this Skarner is. Let's dive onto the Rift for game number 1. They're going to require some level 6s.
Yeah, the late game for Nongshim with double side lane power and late game scaling Zeri here is pretty insane. And the Alistar is going to feel really good in those early few fights as well. Once Lehens has level 6, you can door and shield now as well.
Ooh, he might get eaten though. As Gideon looking to come in here as there is the flash. It's the slow, and that's going to be enough. Gideon going to take first blood here on the Xin Zhao, and it's a brilliant start for Nongshim.
Huge win here. And just no hesitation whatsoever. 2 flashes committed for 1, but the result is well worth it here. Meanwhile, BNK, with that jungle show up in mid, they spot the jungle. They're looking for a potential dive down here. This is Jiu and Lehens respecting that dive, but as unlocked.
Very interesting. As the handshake comes through, Lehens taking a fair bit of damage. There is the flash into the pulverizers. Diablo did not pick up turret aggro, but Gideon's here. Diablo's going to see whether he can kill Jiu, but he's going to miss the hail of arrows.
All too much, but the Zeri was significantly behind in farm. Feeling a lot better now. Is Clear? Oh dear.
Yeah. That was exactly where Kingan died, by the way, in the other matchup that he was in against a Gwen. This time around, though, Clear is going to at least survive and look to try and pick up this wave as it does crash forward. Both teleports up and available here for our top laners, and I don't think that Kingan's going to be diving just yet.
He hit 6 off of those minions. It's going to be close. I don't think so. Lehens not enjoying himself.
Going to have to taxi on out. Doesn't have his flash, remember. Did invest that in the last play as, man, Diablo is now so scary. But they're utilizing, Gideon's going to have so much control.
They're utilizing that lane prio that we talked about in draft really well down here on the bottom side. So Raptor knows this is where they're going to have a big edge. This is where they can push for those big leads. And they've utilized where Gideon is on the map quite well to at least get this objective early. They won't be able to contest these grubs, however. And Lehens?
Yeah, he's hex flashing in. Vikla in trouble once more as he unbinds the soul, pops back, and then dashes forward with the Q.
Prio got them a dragon, but it didn't stop the grubs from going over as Lehens is here again.
Yeah, Heba Pulp going to come in as Vikla is just dead once more. That's a killing spree over to the Xin Zhao. And this
is an all-in?
Yeah, throws down the ulti. Does have cleanse up and available as in comes the Realm Warp, but Raptor just gets rid of Calyx immediately, and the Impale is going to lock down the cow. Diablo doesn't get the kill, but Raptor is happy to pick that one up. And being maybe a little bit unfortunate as far as Realm Warp positioning is Lehens, he's pulverizing again. Gideon wanting to make his way over as now there's no equalizer and no hope as Kingan going to lock that one down, and Lehens will be able to survive with, they do not get 2-0'd. But sometimes they have whoopsies. This is going to be another example of said whoopsie, as Gideon is a lot further ahead than Raptor. Raptor, though, does manage to count the 1-2-3 knockup and then gets himself out of there. Still, it was only 1 grub picked up by BNK, and it should be 5-1.
Didn't even get the heart steal stack.
Oh no,
this is a pretty weird situation, but I guess it's because he went for the PTA. See what else he builds here is Clear's gonna ult this wave.
Yeah.
And still die.
Yeah, he's very, very dead. The equalizer doesn't do very much.
Wise that has a 500 gold lead. Gwen that has a 1,000 gold lead. They both have 5 grubs. Look at Kingan go.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll race for turret. No, I don't think so. I think you lose that race, but at least they're gonna look for a second dragon. It's Cloud Soul. So small victories here for BNK, but beats of strength on the menu.
Yep, that is going to be the turret being taken down here by Nongshim. There it goes. As Vikla does manage to find an okay trade here into Calyx. But BNK certainly on the back foot. They are going to commit to this. They should be able to take this one down as Lahen's in position. Does have his ulti, so will be pretty durable. Not exactly a dive target, but they can still just kill the turret around him as he does look to try and stop Diablo from doing any extra damage.
He was coming over. This is a little bit risky, but
Owie.
I think with the Realm Warp available here for Calyx, they can actually even look to go for an
Chains of
aggressive
Corruption
play.
gets the ulti out from Lahen's as Gear
Calyx
dives forward once again. There's another Realm Warp. They wanted to stand their ground, but Calyx is going to turn up. And in comes Raptor yet again. Oh man, Diablo is just, this guy has no fear.
Unusual draft in terms of how they're utilizing the Zeri pick. But
Kellen. The handshake does come through, but the wind becomes lightning does. And unfortunately, he goes the same side as Gideon, as there is the equalizer. Sorry, not the equalizer, the impale, as Diablo's over the wall, but so is Kingin. The needlework is good, and where did the Varus go? Clear will turn up, but unfortunately, they don't have their AD carry. That is a decent ulti from Vikla, though, as Kingin will be taken down, and now Clear gets in amongst it. Raptor's there as well, and it is going to now be a 3v3 as Calyx turns up, and Chiyu in the top lane.
How going to feel about it otherwise is Nongshim have so much control over the top side of the map. They can just do this Herald uncontested, and it's 30 seconds before Dragon, so BNK can't even cross-map that one. Maybe look for a dive here past this turret. They say no. It's just going to be a freebie for Nongshim.
Yep. And that could then be used, the most important part of BNK at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and he has teleport. Will need to join his team if they are going to fight for Soul Point here. It's like you said, the Herald going to be utilized to get Dragon Prio, and it just doesn't look like BNK can break in. There's no angle here. Raptor doesn't have flash.
Everyone just going
information to try to punish that reset. Nongshim know it, so they get away with it. Get a better, more secure Dragon take. And look like they're going to get mid-turret as well. As Gio is just going to take it out.
Yep, so there is turret number 2.
Going halfway to describe. Now, Nongshim just have so much control they can start this Otacon up. They can look for a turn here.
Clear. It's basically find a teleport angle. Let's see, because Kellen, if he gets on this with a really good ulti, that could be a whole lot of value. As it's Ruinous Otacon, remember, that's going to go down. It's now BNK looking for it. There is a decent angle on the ulti from Vikla as they lock down Lahen's. There's 2 kills already here for BNK. The knock up onto Gideon is good as Vikla dives on forward. Clear and Diablo are getting low though, and Jiu pops off. The answer is there. It's a Quadra as Calyx, the last man standing.
Quadra, now Calyx will get these plants as well. They got some of the ones earlier.
Where he gets his certification and is pretty psyched about it, as Clear is going to chase down Calyx. Raptor going to join in as well, as I think the Rise is just dead. There he goes. No assist going over to Diablo, unfortunately, but there is something back here for BNK. As, all right, we look for a bit of an angle on Vikla's side. Kingin's in so much trouble, actually. Another knock-up, and he's almost just straight up dead.
Yeah, that was... I was actually worried for Vikla initially there.
Oh dear, there's a knock-up. They think they've got a bit of a catch here as they deliver Gideon to the team. Not sure about that one as the bailout doesn't quite work, but down goes the Varus. Kellen is barely surviving as Vikla looks for an ulti on a Jiu, but doesn't get it. It's a big shield, but not big enough as the ram into the wall under the cow. It's Clear he's going to be able to barbecue him, but now the rest of them, they need to get the hell out and the hell out fast.
They are so doomed if they do not get out, and they will. It's a tricky Varus angle for sure.
Yeah.
Great in lane, though.
Well, Calyx has found Kellen, who just explodes. And now wind becomes lightning. There's the extendo beam as well. Decent impale as they do look to try and take down Gideon, but he goes into that circle. In goes Vikla as well, though. And down goes the cow as now Diablo wants to find it. He flashes, but it's not going to be enough to take down Calyx, and they are too far behind, ladies and gentlemen. It's a double kill over to this Rise, and now I think Nongshim can just grab themselves a Baron.
Diablo, man, he's one man against the world in this game. He's trying his best. His positioning is good. His Clear wants to come over here and look for a denied, but he does not have his ultimate. He does not have flash, and he is likely dead.
Yes.
He's very dead. Man, this game is really off the rails here for BNK.
Maybe stop. Okay. Well, the Baron is down to 3K as we jump back to live. It's now dead as Kingin's over the wall. I'm not sure about Raptor's positioning in this fight. I think he's just going to die as now Gideon looking to find even more as Diablo in melee range is certainly something that's going to be difficult to contend with as Kingin over the wall. Vikla looks to try and take him out as Jiu, he's going to get another kill at the same time, and look at that health bar. He is extremely happy with the game state right now. It's a triple kill for Calyx. And yeah, BNK, I think they are not going to be in this game for very much longer, as there's a nice little knock-up. He's still out ulti. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Gideon was apprehensive, and he should have been.
Yeah.
But I think they'll take the extended back here, the back delay, for Nexus. I think they'll take the trade. I think they're very happy with how this draft played out in game one. Nongshim with a huge win here.
Yep. And Vikla doesn't even go back to his soul. He just goes up to the heavens, as Calyx and Jiu have got enough damage to deal with Raptor, although that's a nice impale, and Jiu's just dead. So maybe the Nexus will live for a little longer.
I really want to talk about Diablo, but I guess we won't get a chance to.
Well, Raptor is trying to get bailed out. Chains of Corruption coming on in there as Diablo headbutt pulls, and then he's not able to do auto attacks. Still, there is no follow-up, as the Realm Warp does absolutely nothing.
Gold lead here. They have full control over the map. There are some overextensions happening. There are some, like, let's just run at them 2v3, 2v4 situations happening in this game here for Nongshim, but I wanted to talk about Diablo's build because it is the most Diablo build, you know, like only I can carry this game, only I can get it done. It is the highest value, highest
win
damage
conditions. As, all right, there's the flash in from Gideon, finds an ulti, but ultimately doesn't really do very much of anything at all, as the bailout is actually going to work. Diablo goes golden, but I think he's still dead. There he goes. And B&K, they are going to be able to go out with a bang, but go out they will, as it's Jiu to finish off the ace. And not
그냥 왼쪽 올래 딜이? 아 넥슨 갈래 일단 얘들아 근데 이거 걔궁 없잖아? 내가 다 궁 조심해 가도 가다 갈래? 정면에서 할게 난 오케이 야 바우스 오픈 바우스 오픈 아 끝내 Sorry, 나 라이즈 공개 실수를 못한대.
in the early game with their draft outside the bottom lane.
Yeah.
It was quite powerful what they had, and Kingen got a huge lead. Calyx started to get an explosive lead, and Gideon was ahead from start to finish.
Yeah, Calyx also just running over Vikla in that early game with Gideon's help was, yeah, it was pretty devastating, but I think that a lot of eyes are going to be glued to Ryu after that.
Kills turrets, and like you always have problems in sides that entire time. There's Grasp Nidalee. She started Doran's Blade. We know what we're in for here. We've seen it before. Gonna have that permanently. Bottom side.
Okay, Diablo able to get himself out of there, as now Jiu in trouble. Shattering Strike comes in, barrier has to be employed. Diablo does have Cleanse, remember, so doesn't have that extra battle capability to get any meaningful damage. You can see the CS is negligible between the two top laners.
He hasn't taken his first back yet. Neither of them have. They both still have their teleports. Nidalee, hold up.
Ooh, bit of an engage possibility. Shattering Strike, a great answer here as Kellen played that one out beautifully. Still, Vikla a little bit worse for wear as the Cathian rains down onto Diablo. Nicely played. Clear is likely dead. Yeah, Gideon going to move on in as, all right, the train not going to be interrupted. That's why the Scion is picked into the Poppy oftentimes, because the Unstoppable Onslaught is pretty good. And look at this, Clear is still trying to bait, and Nongshim, they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I do think that Nongshim with the faster group up here should feel pretty fine about the situation, although...
Yep, Lance goes in. Untargetable is Raptor, though, as there's another crash down from Kellen. Nicely done, the bleed still working. There's the Flash Emperor's Divide, and that is going to deliver them a beautiful heroic charge from Gideon. Seismic Shove goes wide, and Nongshim able to regroup and head towards these grubs.
Nongshim are just aware of when does B&K's comp actually fight. Well, this was definitely not where I thought the first one would occur, where they would actually commit in, but they did, and it was disastrous. Raptor will secure this at least.
Yeah, Gideon does still have Flash, as Vikla gonna get that Flash out of
Ellen is interesting.
Oh dear. Kingen is gonna have to try and pounce his way out of this one, but I don't know whether it's necessarily gonna work. There's the Flash, as Kingen didn't quite have the pounce cooldown back off yet. Play out this top lane as some rocks go down in the mid lane, and another Emperor's Divide being looked for and will be found. The flash comes through, but it's still going to slam Vikla into the wall. But now has his Trinity Force complete.
Yeah. That's a bit of a large problem.
Yes.
It's not a lot of good news here for B&K just yet. Kellen has control of this choke point. They do have the TP in from Clear. See if they can turn this into a team fight, but it's so awkward.
Yeah, there's the crash down from Kellen to try and get him out of there, but that's a decent wall. Gideon gets rid of two, though, and then the heroic charge onto Vikla. He puts down some rocks and tries to get rid of them, but Lehens just catches him out, and Calyx grabs another one. Now they're looking to make their way back in as Kellen finds a Magnet Storm. Lehens Gets the solar flare gorgeously, though. Another heroic charge. Gideon is on an absolute tear today. My God, this guy.
And then gets the grubs as well.
Yeah, unless this is indicating that there was a steal. 300, 200, Treasure Barrage. There we go. Nicely done by Diablo.
See, Diablo was helping.
And
I feel like we're just seeing the symptoms of it all over the map.
like the trades there we did see were kind of...
We're hitting that 2-item spike in this game. And this is just going to be another free turret, it looks like. Demolish procs.
Feats of strength. So that is Nongshim locking it down. Some upgraded shoes now going to be there as the Unstoppable Onslaught is going to bring the Scion to a wall. And Clear doesn't exactly have a huge health bar and then just gets stunned up. Even the Mystic Shot is not going to connect True Shot Barrage, but it's not going to take down the Kai'Sa before she kills the Scion. And Kingin in the meantime...
It's now 5,000 gold off of 3 turrets. They got 3, all 3. And do you get Lehen's? I'm not sure.
Lehen's going in, gets the flash. That's an immediate cleanse as the heroic charge doesn't quite do enough. As Diablo then finds an Azir. Lehen's also surviving for so incredibly long as Vikla looking for Geo on the backline and does manage to find him. Clear teleported in. Gideon gets another heroic charge. The seismic shoves are just not finding the mark, and it's a double kill for Kingin. BNK are just falling apart in this series as Vikla, with no more mana left, is looking to try and get something back, but Clear and him just gonna have to walk away.
I keep going back to that question I asked earlier. When do you fight super well together just yet? You know, we're almost there, but we're not there yet. And Nongshim are just too far ahead.
Yeah, and Gideon is too good on this Poppy as well, man. As, all right, if at first you don't succeed, let's just go for it again as he's in and then he's out. As Gio is still in a whole lot of trouble, as there's another crash down here from Kellen. Magnet Storm picks up a couple, as now Lehen's looks for an angle. The Killer Instinct is so good as Diablo. Can they protect him? The answer is yes! Lehen's gonna go down as well, and the Emperor's Divide just to get rid of a Scion is not the play you want to see. BNK back on the map, and Kingin is in the bottom lane, doing exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah, Kingin is just gonna keep pushing this until Clear shows up. We'll get an extra turret, so
for the Ezreal as well as his Hextech Dragon now being started. BNK were able to get the first streak, which was that cloud to start us off. So it will just be an equalization of dragons if Nongshim are able to get it, and it looks like BNK have no interest.
Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but it feels like there's an abnormally large amount. As Diablo is
This is another engage here as Gideon trying to be the hero, and Clear always finds these angles onto Geo. Raptor looking for it as well. The Magnet Storm, it's just a dog pile, quite literally, on top of this Kai'Sa.
Yeah, Geo is having a bit of a rough mid-game here. Constantly getting caught or just engaging in a little bit too early and dying.
Yeah, well, Emperor's Divide going to throw Raptor underneath the inner turret. He does go untargetable, but I don't know whether it's quite enough. They do take down Lehen's. The dog survives, and the Nidalee is taking another turret. I don't even know whether this is worth yet another structure. As now Raptor going untargetable here into Calyx, who doesn't have the ulti and is taking a lot of damage from the doggos. The flash forward, conquering sands, and down goes the Nefiri.
Yeah, Nefiri had to flash earlier, so Raptor does end up going down.
Is going to be denied. And Nongshim still just setting up this siege while they wait for Kingin to get his work done. I mean, Gideon was spotted there, and look at that. The Demolish proc, it's just dead.
He 3-shots the turret.
Yep. As Aurora the Slayer doesn't quite connect, so Kingin's just able to get himself out of there, and then as the push and pull happens, Nongshim are able to move in towards this inner turret as Geo, oh god, okay, Magnet Storm onto 3, Kellen finds the angle, and now they're looking to try and send them home, picking up some gold in the meantime as well as Calyx, oh god, the Mega Cone is gonna not exactly do what Diablo wants it to, and yeah, this Azir is also a bit of a problem, as Kingin gonna get knocked up, as Clear realizes that, I mean, it's kind of hopeless, isn't it, trying to fight this guy?
There are a few problems, I would say, here on the side of Nongshim that BNK are struggling to solve, and this one may be the biggest of them, as Kingin, he has Sundered Sky, he has his Hullbreaker, he has Res.
Yeah.
Well, he is withdrawn, potentially?
Yeah, the Crashdown comes in. What are we doing, guys? Are we trying to hold on to just see whether we can buy some time?
They want a pet cat, Atlas!
Well, there's the ulti and a flash that they now have to use as they're just trying to... Oh, maybe they're just waiting for the timer? Just hold him in position, guys. And there it is, the buff is now worn off, and now it's a real kill. Congratulations, guys, an extra 100 gold. Unless they can't. There it goes. Okay, so Vic over the wall. Lehens dealing with a whole bunch of pets as there's a nice little knock-up. Weaver's Wall just going to break off the rest of this fight. Lehens trying to get himself out of there. The crashdown doesn't quite work, but there goes the Leona to start this one off. Gideon getting rid of the Scion so they don't follow up with anything more. And Kingin did have teleport, but he wasn't alive.
Nope. 2 kills. Let's see if they can get more.
All right, Raptor going for even more here as the Emperor's Divide now on cooldown. Diablo, they just need to protect him. Another Magnet Storm comes in as there's a beautiful flick. Gideon in trouble though, and down goes Kingin. Sorry, not Kingin, Kellen, the other one with a K. As True Shot Barrage, looking for the snipe.
As well as his killer instinct to survive that last exchange. He's super low now, and they're trying to turn around.
Yeah, Clear really doesn't want to use his ultimate. Defensively is Gideon taking a lot of damage. And there he goes, and there he goes down. As the Zombie Scion actually going to be helping out here for a few moments. Calyx goes golden, and Clear will find a few autos. Geo just still trying to be useful, but it's so difficult at such a low health bar. And Diablo also playing in similar condition.
This is wild. This suddenly just became this random hands game between these two teams. I mean, in the mid lane, we're no vision here for BNK whatsoever.
Oh, look at Diablo, just immediately Arcane shifts forward. That's what we want to see out of this young man. As Gio's in trouble yet again. Raptor managing to pick up the kill pretty comfortably, and that was not the keeper's verdict that Gideon was looking for. Still he's able to run, but is it actually going to get him to safety as Raptor is going to chase him down and say nope, it is absolutely not. As now Clear looking to turn it. Another seismic shove and Diablo's over the wall. Lands in trouble. He does have the Eclipse, but it is not enough to keep him alive. Calyx finds 3 with the ulti, but there's no follow-up. Does he need it though? That's the question. He takes down the damage. Shattering strike from Kellen, and Raptor is running away, and I don't think Kellen's going to be as lucky. Why is every fight like this?
This should be an unlosable game, right? As we'll watch this, the Azir on the flank the entire time goes in for the Emperor's Divide. They're way too close to him.
Oh my god.
And he's giga huge. Like, I don't know what else to say.
It's the lethal tempo version as well, so these auto attacks. 8-0-8!
Yeah.
This guy is absolutely out of control.
Raptor's going to have to somehow buy time for his ultimate here. Maybe that could be enough to try to defend here. 15 seconds on Diablo. So many super minions though in the base. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and Kingen just does so much damage to these structures as Raptor looks to go untargetable. Clear is going to turn up, and that is going to mean the Nongshim have to vacate the area. So it costs them, yeah, 1 inhibitor turret. Sorry, Nexus turret as Calyx. Okay, now Nongshim, look for the Baron. Okay, and that should be the big winner.
I think that they could have just done this off of the outset, done a reset and come over there, but they decided to try to end the game. They did not get the mid inhibitor, by the way, so that one actually stays alive because they walked through it to try to end.
Just ridiculous. Diablo, yeah, that's a contribution to that damage per minute stat.
After all,
down towards the bottom side. Yeah, Vikler on a flank angle as well, looking for a wall, wants to set it up. As Diablo able to move out of the way of the Solar Flare. Only 1 Nexus turret between Nongshim and the first 2-0 victory over BNK of the season. And Gio's in the top lane trying to make that one happen. Raptor really needs to get in here and start something, and they are going to do so. Out comes the Scion as well, and Calyx is the target, but he's able to, never mind! He's shut down, Diablo gets on top of him, Lehens also to be taken out here, and Raptor is able to follow up onto Gio. I don't know whether he's going to survive this as Kingen flashes after him. Diablo, you need to hit those! You need to hit those Mystic shots! As Kingen now going to try and take them on a merry goose chase here, and I don't know whether this is going to change the outcome of the game, nor is that True Shot Barrage going to be able to take down Kingen, but Roar the Slayer might be able to slow him down, and Diablo able to get in there and finish him off. So BNK still dealing with the base. Thankfully, these Nexus turrets do respawn.
Top laner is a split pusher, not a team fighter.
Well, we've now got a bit of a battle over a blue buff as the Solar Flare is going to split the Red Sea as Lehens goes in one more time. Gideon out again as Gio. We said he didn't have the damage. That looked like a lot of damage. Only onto the Rel though, and he might actually have to trade his life for it as he opts into a 1v1 versus Diablo. Now Calyx is just throwing them all away. Lehens, can you survive? The answer is absolutely yes as Diablo gets himself over the wall, but the rest of his teammates are all dead, ladies and gentlemen. And Gideon slams the Ezreal into the wall, and now it's a Scion against the world. And I'm having a hard time working out how the Scion lives in those odds. As now Kingen dashing on top of him. These inhibitors still dead for quite some time, and the Scion is just going to be relegated to his fountain. The Nexus goes down, and Nongshim are going to be the first team to 2-0 B&K in a game like this, because you're never supposed to go for a team fight. You have to be drawing your opposition around the map, and I think that Kingen, much like Zeus, played it almost exactly the same, because you have to be kind of crazy.
He also played the team fights really well when he did show up. He actually helped clean up with Calyx a lot of these big fights, and became this insanely tanky, unkillable mobile champion that got on the top of the backline constantly and added an additional amount of damage.
Yep.
It really was, outside of Gio's individual performances in the second game, I feel like Nongshim looking like they're back to LCK Cup form.
Yeah, I have to say, I like the Nidalee more than the Diana.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with here.
And the Anivia.
Yes, yes. Although, I put Diana well and truly at the bottom. Still, Nongshim, great performance here, and this is going to put them ahead on the standings over another team that was even with them at 3-3. And so Nongshim now, I believe, moved to outright 4th place, but still waiting for some more matches to occur. Calyx, yeah,
almost
20K more.
Almost 1.5k damage on this Azir. Pretty insane performance from this guy.
That's a pretty good DPM stat.
Yeah, and he also had a great
that's
laning
his
phase.
first match win.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Calyx on the side of Nongshim Red Force. Congratulations! Thank you. Calyx, congratulations on the victory, and this was your first victory since debut. Please give it up for Calyx. And with your first debut victory, you got a POM. How do you feel? You know, today's match was so crucial for our standings today, and being able to win with a clean 2-0 victory makes me so happy. How did you feel after winning today? You know, all those times when I was called up, I had never gotten a victory, and I'm just really happy. It means so much that I was able to get that victory today. And you know, Gideon appeared mid at such impeccable timings. Despite the lack of time to build synergy with Gideon, how were you two so able to stay on the same page so well? You know, I think it was back when we were both in CL, we actually did play together, and with Gideon being such a great player and him playing so well, I think it was never really that much of a homework to actually build synergy with him and build that chemistry with him. And game 2 actually looked like there were so many risky moments, so what were the comms like to stay focused? Even if those risky moments show up during game, I think it was just, we were just talking about how as long as I am able to stay focused and play well, that we would be able to win. And do you actually have any favorite moment from today? You know, a lot of our teammates were dead in the moment in front of Baron, but I think we were able to turn it around with my ult. That moment was my favorite. Of course, let's take a look at that replay then. We were all so shocked in this moment. How did you make this decision in the spur of the moment? You know, I think I saw a really good angle, and Kingen was able to poke them down, and I was only able to do this because he set this up for me. And in that moment, I think Talia was the one who actually gave me a good angle. From this moment, did you expect a POM? Yes, I did. And with this refreshing, spicy gameplay, you earned a new nickname in Korea. It's Calyxu. Do you like it? Yeah, I like it.
영광일 것 같습니다.
So do you mind if we keep using it? It would be an honor if you did that. And your next opponent will be KT Rolster, who is on a rise. Are you confident going into BDD in the mid lane?
선수를 중심으로 운영을 한다 생각해서
No, KT does make plays around BDD. So as long as I can deny BDD and disable him, I believe that we can win. And we'll make sure that we defeat KT to continue our consecutive victory. And although we have some dominant opponents coming up, we'll make sure that we go in with full of confidence. And that's the end of the interview with Calix, and back to the space. Thank you.